Hello everyone, good morning sir. For today's video, we will tackle about the propaganda movement. Propaganda movement in 1872 to 1892 was the first Filipino nationalist movement, led by a Filipino elite inspired by the proto-nationalist activism of figures such as Jose Burgos and by his execution at the hands of colonial authorities. Propagandists were largely young men, often mestizos and crowless, whose families could afford to send them to study in Spanish universities in Madrid and Barcelona, Spain. The propaganda movement targeted the Spanish government and public, but as an elite movement failed to engage with a wider Filipino population. The Spanish government was little interested in the conditions of the Philippines, particularly with the immense political form in the Spanish political environment. And the movement ultimately received scant support and made little headway in Spain. The propagandists themselves were considered to be rebels at home in the Philippines, and many was exiled. Despite its overall failure, the movement generated a political consciousness that fed into the nationalist revolution of 1896 and the struggle of the independence that followed. So, what is the aim of the propaganda movement and La Solidaridad? In 1888, Filipino expatriate journalist Graciano Lopez Jaina founded the newspaper of La Solidaridad in Barcelona. La Solidaridad argued reforms in both religion and government in the Philippines, and it served as the voice of what became known as the propaganda movement. One of the foremost contributors to La Solidaridad was the precocious Jose Rizal y Mercado. Rizal wrote two political novels, No Limitang Hire, 1887, Touch Me Not, and El Filibusterismo, 1891, The Reign of Greed, which had wide impact in the Philippines. Lopez Jaina, Rizal, and journalist Marcelo del Pilar emerged as the three leading figures of the propaganda movement, and the magazine's poetry and pamphleteering flourished. At the end of propaganda movement, Rizal's arrest to the Pitan marks the end of the propaganda movement. Radical members like Andres Bonifacio separated from the movement, believing that it was useless to expect reforms from Spaniards.